Hey, good afternoon. My name's John Ray, and I got Mike Park here from the Windsor Rugby Football Club. Today we have a number of special guests that are going to talk about their experience with rugby in Windsor, not just the Windsor Rugby Football Club, but rugby in Windsor over the last 60 years for our 60th anniversary banquet this summer.
And how about these two guys over here in the corner?
We got George Palmer and we got Dave Snellgrove.
You guys tell us a little about yourselves.
I'm George Palmer, and I was one of the players that graduated from football. My first introduction in Windsor was with a club called Black Rock, and I noticed that most of the players didn't speak English the same way I did. So it was a steep learning curve, but I found with these guys there was plenty of support. If it broke down, they were there.
How about you, Snelly? A little about yourself.
I'm originally from England. I came to Windsor in '69, and I played soccer initially because that's what I was brought up with. I did play rugby in high school, but not very much. So I did switch from soccer to rugby in '72, something like that. And I remember the very first game I played for the Windsor team, and I was on the wing, and somebody fed me the ball, and I ran down the wing, and everybody was saying, "Touch the ball down, you dummy!" I didn't realize you had to touch the ball down. That was my first introduction to the rugby in the city. So I did actually touch it down. We did actually get a try, only from instruction from above.
So you started playing rugby at an early age. You came to Windsor. Why did you stick around? Why rugby?
Because of the social aspect. When you're playing soccer, there's no social. The women aren't involved, and my wife at least was part of the picture when we played rugby, and that was one of the main reasons we actually continued to support the rugby. And I played for a long time, so it's obviously it was a good thing.
So the social part, the connection with the other guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
The inclusion of the whole family.
I'm sorry?
The inclusion of the whole family.
Yes, yeah. My kids, we had many parties in my basement, and my kids were there. They seen a lot of things that they shouldn't have seen, but they were there to be part of what was going on, and it was fun. It was really fun.
So from '69 when you started to, when did you play your last game, Snelly?
I played my last game when I was 50, when I was in Houston. We were on tour in Houston, and I played the old boys game, over 35, which most of them seemed to be when I was playing. And so when you're 50, yeah, you're pretty well over the hill. And I realized when I played that game, this was going to be my last one.
Well, that sounds like you got into 4 decades there, the '60s through the '90s, so that's not too bad.
I did. I did play a long time.
And did you ever move off that wing, or did they leave you out there?
No, there was, my position probably was fullback. I used to do a lot of kicking, and I used to do the points after, and most of the, until, who was it that came along from, I forget his name now. He was a good kicker. I was just an average kicker.
Al Hopes.
Well, he used to do some of it as well, Al Hope, yeah. But he was exceptional. He wasn't an average kicker, believe me. Compared to me, he was a superstar. So,
it's certainly one of the names I've heard thrown about over the years. It's always fun talking to the older generations and hearing about those great players that have come and gone.
Yeah.
That in my case, I never got to see Alan play. And, I got to see George play a little bit. Tell us a little about your playing career, George.
Well, I remember Alan Holtz. And, at the time, I was playing the inside center, and he looks over at me. He says, "Okay, laddie, you're going for a run." And he put that ball up just so that it would land on this side of the 22. So as the ball was coming down, I was there. You know, so he was a great one for setting up plays with his kicking abilities. And when he was on the field, he could virtually kick the other team off the field. You know, whether it was a drop kick or whether it was kick of position. A very talented player. So.
When did you start playing, George?
Well, I got introduced to it when I was 15, so I was back in '65. And then after I was done playing football, then I was looking for something else to do. So '72, I think, was my first season with Blackrock. And then there were 3 teams then.
I had one of the fellows about 10 years ago, his son was playing and he was at a game in Guelph. I think it was Guelph or Fergus. And somebody went down and then you ran onto the field. He thought you were one of the granddads watching the game and in you ran.
How old were you,
I played with George.
No, I know the terms that the scrums turned into uncontested scrums.
Ah.
I don't know whether I was hurting somebody or what, but
I
was
think
playing
you were in your
hooker
I think
anyway.
you were in your 60s, and you had moved to hooker from center, so you had come a long way.
Well, yeah. And then when it came to playing old boys, well, I was one of the young fast guys, so they made me a number 7. So it's just.
And why did you stick around, George? Why did you stick around rugby?
That was a good release for me, you know. Being a bit of an adrenaline junkie, that was a perfect game.
Mm-hmm.
And it became a creature of habit, you know, learning the fine techniques and the logic behind the game, and yeah.
Well, thank you very much, guys. We have the earlier generations of rugby here with us today, and we